Kim here with my very first book review. We need to talk about this. I recently read Coraline by Neil Gaiman, part of my middle grade journey that I'm on, and oh good heavens, I have some thoughts and feelings. Quick disclaimer, I made a how I review books video. I'll try to remember to link it. That might help you out because I don't like to use stars when I review books, as I've said a million times. So if you're a little confused with how I'm talking about scores and points and things like that, check out that really quick video. I don't think it's too long. I don't know. Anyway, if you're confused, go and see that. I'll try to remember to link it or whatever. On to the book. Coraline by Neil Gaiman is a kid's book that he wrote that is just gorgeous. I loved it. Okay, so I'm just gonna start with I loved it. A lot of people don't love it. And I might be able to see why, I think I kind of get it, but for me, this was incredible and I loved it so much. I rated it an 18 out of 20 in my point system for book reviews, which is a pretty high score. Well, you know, I've read a lot of good stuff lately, so I feel like a lot of books are probably rated that high. Just lately, I just found some good stuff, but that is a stellar score, so bravo, Neil Gaiman. But there was any doubt you were gonna do that. You're my favorite, so whatever. In terms of style and writing, it got a 3 out of 4. In terms of characters, it got a 4 out of 4. For pacing, it got a 4 out of 4. For story, it got a 4 out of 4. And for the ending, it got a 3 out of 4. Coraline is about a girl named Coraline. And she's recently moved into a sort of townhome apartment building, in-betweeny flat, with her parents, who both work at home, but they are often busy, often on their computers, often working, and very often have too much going on to really deal with or pay attention to Coraline. She is sort of this explorer type child who is bored easily and does not like being bored. So she very often roams about the gardens and things of her house. She chats with the neighbors. There's a door in their formal living room, which her mother tells her goes to nowhere. She opens the door and it's a brick wall behind it. It used to connect to the flat next to them before they were turned into flats, and it was just one giant house. Obviously, this does not sit well with Coraline, and eventually she opens the door, being led there by some mysterious things, and finds that it is indeed a doorway to another world. She ventures through the door, and lo and behold, there is an entire world there with her other family. There's other mother, other father, there's her neighbors are there, but in this other form, and they have buttons for eyes. Other mother is dying for her to stay, and the rest of the story is Coraline trying to deal with that. So let's break down these categories. In terms of writing and story, I gave it a 3 out of 4. It lost a point simply because there were 2 or 3 times that I kind of had to go back and reread a sentence or two. I just got a tiny bit confused, and that just could be because I'm kind of dumb. I had to knock it off a point because it is a kid's book, and it's just important for you to be very clear. And like I said, it was just 2 or 3 times I just had to be like, wait a second, what? And and just minimally, and just a sentence or two, a line. It wasn't like I had to reread a whole chapter or anything like that. Just was a little bit where my mind sort of went, wait, what'd you say? And so, and not so much in a, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened, I have to reread that to make sure I'm right and that I read that right, but in a, wait, what? Sort of way. Which is a shame, but like I said, just one little point knock off for that, and it's not that big a deal. The story and everything wasn't confusing. It was just a line or a writing style that every once in a while was just wait, what? The characters were rated a 4, especially Other Mother. She is one of the coolest villains I have ever encountered in my entire life. She gave me the legit creeps, guys, the freakouts. I should not have read this right before going to sleep. Mistake. It is a creepy book, I will tell you that. But I loved her. I just wanted to know everything about her, and I wanted to meet her, even though that would be a mistake. She was so creepy, and just in this really well-rounded way. She wasn't just full-on creepy. You kind of understood that her creepiness was sort of coming from a place of love, like sort of, like in a creepy stalker, yet you're messed up way. She made this whole book for me. Other Mother just was amazing. She's an amazing villain, and she's an incredible literary character overall. I also enjoyed Coraline's motives. Without spoiling it, she does have to go back to the other world for a reason. She decides to go back there out of, not exactly obligation, but simply because it's the right thing to do. I need to go and do this. This is the right thing for me to do, and I'm gonna do it. Even though I'm scared to do it, and even though I don't want to do it, I'm gonna do it because it's the right thing to do and it needs to be done. I loved that. I thought that was an incredible lesson, especially for kids, because like sometimes you don't want to do a thing, and sometimes you're scared to do a thing, but you have to do the thing. It kind of teaches kids that it's okay to not want to do the thing, but to know you have to do the thing and go do the thing. Did that make sense? Yeah. Anyway, I also loved the cat. I loved just the little one-liners from the cat that were so great. The part about the cat and names is so awesome. So I thought the cat was like just a nice little gem of wonderfulness throughout the story. So in terms of story, it's great. It's creepy. I felt really like eerie and reading it many times. It fit the genre of middle grade / lower grade horror thriller, I guess. I don't love labeling books horror because it turns off a lot of people, because it's not like blood and guts and blah, boo, ah, sort of horror. It's like, ooh, ooh, oh, don't go in there. Oh, why are you doing that? That kind of horror. It's just fun for me. I love it. I like being delightfully creeped out, and this did it. Like, it was so great. Like I said, I should not have read this before going to bed though. That could have been a fatal mistake. So the story got a 4 out of 4, like it was just great. The pacing was perfect for a lower or middle grade book. It moved, it went piece by piece by piece by piece, move right along, went swimmingly, great. There wasn't any like lulls in between, you know, kind of, but it wasn't too exciting all the time. The pacing was just perfect for me, and I think for kids too. I think kids really need things to move. And this moves, so you know, he doesn't waste any time, which I just love. It's great. The ending, I did have to knock a point off and gave it 3 out of 4 for the ending, simply because, I'm not going to give any spoilers, I'm just going to say that there were like there was closure, and then there was closure again. Not anything that made me go, oh, this book was great, except for that stupid ending. Like, it was nothing like that. Nothing like that. It was fantastic and great, and like the second sort of part of the ending moved right along and got along quickly, and then it was, the ending was fantastic, and then I felt satisfied with the conclusion, and I felt that the story had wrapped up nicely and everything like that. It was just kind of threw me off just a little bit to have it be like end, but just a little bit. Hopefully that's not too much of a spoiler for you guys. So, like I said, this book got an 18 out of 20. Neil Gaiman has never disappointed me. I didn't expect him to with this book. I went into it with high hopes, and I was like, all my expectations were met. That's just how it is. I was creeped out. I felt adventurous right with Coraline. I felt right along with her, and Neil Gaiman just writes a great story. He really keeps things simple and clear for the most part. A few extra little points. Can we talk about this cover? I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can tell, but, so it's mostly a glossy black background, and then when you like shift it, you can see that like along here and here and things, there's like the same black color that's matte of the like shadowy rats and things like that are so creepy and cool. And so the cover is extra special. This cover anyway, it's the 10th anniversary edition. This version of the book, I'm not sure if all the versions have this, but had some really cool illustrations, mostly at chapter headings and things like that. Look how like, that's creepy, guys. It's like, and oh, that's creepy. Oh, look at this. You guys. So needless to say, I fell in love with this book. If you like being creeped out, if you like highly imaginative, if you like this like explorer sort of mode that characters have sometimes, this is definitely the book for you. If you've read it, if you loved it, if you hated it, tell me why in the comments or on Twitter. Let's discuss. Yeah. That's my review of Coraline by Neil Gaiman. Thumbs up the video if you liked it. Subscribe for more bookish related things, please and thank you. Because, she said, when you're scared, but you still do it anyway, that's brave. People confuse brave with fearlessness. There's another one. Oh, Coraline knew that when grown-ups told you something wouldn't hurt, it almost always did. I love that perspective of a kid. That's just 100% accurate, I feel like.